things have changed again with the BOI, the whiplash. I know. I just told you in this video yesterday, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled earlier this week that yes, if you own almost any type of business that operates in the United States under a new law, you were required to file BOI, beneficial ownership information. And that had to be done by January 13th, so in just a few weeks. Well, late last night, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals reversed its own decision. Wild, I know. The Fifth Circuit now says they want to pause their own ruling so the parties in this case can argue whether the Corporate Transparency Act, which is the law that established the BOI, is constitutional or not. The appeals court said in this latest order they were doing this to preserve the constitutional status quo while the merits panel considers the parties' weighty substantive arguments. So do you file or not? Well, as of today, the courts say no. But as you can see, the ruling will change like day by day. Look, as a journalist, I cannot give you advice about what you should do. But what I can do is lay out what you need to consider so you can decide for yourself whether it's in your best interest to file this thing or wait it out. First, you can determine whether your business is one that would be required to file under the law. Generally, the law says if you had to file any sort of paperwork to create your business entity with your Secretary of State or an equivalent government agency, the law says you likely have to file. For the record, filing is free and takes like 10 minutes if you have a simple, basic business structure. You can do that on fincen.gov/BOI. Second, you need to weigh whether it's going to be just easier for you to follow all this legal drama, all this back and forth to file or not to file, or just file the information and forget about it. It's possible, in the end, you will not have to file it. But on the flip side, if the courts ultimately uphold this law, the Treasury Department is going to reinstate a very quick BOI filing deadline that you will have to comply with. And if you don't file, you will rack up very hefty fines.
Hey, TikTok, it's Keith the lawyer. I'm a lawyer, not your lawyer. This is not legal advice, even though it sounds like it. So talk to your own lawyer for that. We're going to talk again today about this federal BOI, Beneficial Ownership Interest Form, that they had put into effect around this time last year that required all corporations, LLCs, all types of legal entities like that to file this form, essentially listing out the beneficial owners of that entity. And they were going to have up to it's a $500 and something a day fine for people that do not file this form. Well, a few weeks ago, there was an injunction. Well, there's actually, even before that, there was a lawsuit here in Alabama where a federal judge said, nope, you don't have to do that. It's unconstitutional. But that only applied to the people that were parties to that case. A week or so after that, there was a federal judge in Texas that issued an injunction and said, nope, this is unconstitutional. Don't have to do it. There's an injunction in place. That was appealed, and just a couple of days ago, there was a ruling by a federal appeals court that said that even though they have not decided the issue yet, the appeal of that order from Texas is still on appeal. They have lifted the injunction so that everybody now has to file, and of course they're going to make it incredibly easy and timely for everybody to be able to file. Since you were going to have to do it by January 1st, they have very graciously extended the deadline for filing to January 13th. Now, like I said in my last video that I did about this, that it's going to be, it's an on again, it's on off, on off, on off. People hear that no, you've absolutely got to file, and then they hear nope, you don't have to file, it's unconstitutional. And a lot of people are just not going to have heard that nope, you do have to file, and by the way, you've got to do it by January 13th, or else we're going to fine you $500 and something a day. My opinion about this whole thing from the start has been that it's nothing more than a trap that the federal government has set to be able to fine a bunch of people $500 and something a day, because this entire BOI filing, it's ridiculous. I had actually filed mine just a couple of days before that injunction went into place. And it took me, I want to say, I mean, even I wasn't even trying to get it done fast. It probably took me 5 or 6 minutes. And basically I had to list the members of the corporation and upload copies of our driver's licenses, okay? This is all information that's in the initial filing that I made when I formed this entity, and is currently on file with the Secretary of State here. So it is just ridiculous. Anyhow, we're not done with this. There's going to be a bunch of people that don't file this form because they heard they didn't have to, and they didn't hear that injunction got lifted. And then we're going to have the actual final decision on whether or not this is constitutional, and then depending on how that goes, there may even be a later appeal after that. Anyhow, so that's where we are right now. You should probably go ahead and file it. I mean, it took 5 minutes, and it's not like you're giving them secret information. You're telling them who owns your corporation or your LLC or whatever, and you know, unless you're like, you know, forming shell companies after shell company after shell company to hide ownership, they already know because you already told them. Anyhow, that's where we are on this now. Thanks for watching. This is Keith the Lawyer.
All right, so as y'all can see, like I said, they're just going up and down. I just really started zooming in on this because I heard about the beginning of the year. I'm like, we got 12 months, right? But obviously people out here fighting this, guys. I'm going to stay on top. I'm going to drop updated videos because I want us to know who of us really actually got to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because I know there's exemptions, but my request for you would be, you know, go ahead and Google the BOI mandate on Google, see what it's about. Let's see, maybe not. So, maybe you might be, or maybe you might not require to be, but like my lawyer friend said, man, it's really just 5 minutes of work. But at the same time, even though it's only 5 minutes, I still think it's going to interfere with the transparency or the whole idea behind establishing entities to separate the individual, right, from the business. Because we know what happened in business. We got success stories, and there's also some that ain't so damn successful. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest about this game, right? And I think what they want to do is I will not be surprised deep down if this PPP people ain't the one that F this game up for us, bro. Will I be surprised if, because of everything, all the fraud and all this that happened with the PPP loan, they establish something like this to make sure none of that ever happen again, right? To make sure that people who actually take business loans are going to use it for the business. They're just not out here trying to pull a hustle. They're not just out here trying to finesse the system. I really would not be surprised if that's the case. Anyways, y'all, I'm going to keep updated. I'm going to look and see how we can actually do this, because I'm going to do it before I get back on the road, just because, I got an entity and all that, just in case, okay? The matter of the fact is, it's in court right now, okay? I'm going to post a video that's going to break all that. It's in court. But the question is, do you want to be left behind on the boat? So what if you go through all this battle, this legal nonsense, and then they're like, hey, you still got to do it, bro. You're looking at $500. Oh, yeah, I forgot. The fine is $500. $500 a day. No, it's not $500 a week. It's not $500 after you pay your child support. It's not $500 after the side chick got their money and you got No, it's $500 a day. A day. Think about that. Do you want to risk $500 a day to keep the integrity of the entity that you created like it's supposed to be? Or do you want to take that 5-10 minutes and be like, you know what, screw it. Let's just go ahead and get this out the way. Let them know who the hell I is. I'm just saying, think about it. I'm not telling you what to do, but is it really worth risking that 500? But once again, on the flip side, we do have legal rights out here. I think it's unconstitutional, but we're going to find out a little bit more about that. I'm going to bring it to y'all, pop it in, because this thing is changing day in and day out. It's literally changing day in and day out. One thing you got to give to these United States, don't come out here playing with our constitutional rights, because we're going to do some filing, damn it. We're going to sign some papers. Yeah, your ass going to go to court. So that's what's going on right now. Anyways, y'all stay tuned, YouTube. You know what it is, the baddest man in the land. Oh, mama, there goes that man, YouTube. My videos are real, my videos are raw, my videos are all authentic. You can't talk trucking without putting Chesty Mr. Hamilton in. Look, man, I'm just trying to save all of us $500 a day, because you F around. If this come in action on the 1st or the 13th, you find out 7 days later, you're looking at damn near 4 bands. Ain't nobody got that kind of money.